Hello friends, how are you? I'm Inamul Shah. In the first lecture, we have discussed the uses of comma. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the punctuation marks as well. So first, we discuss full stop. So this point, full stop, this point does not give any trouble as it uses or generally understood. The period is used to separate complete sentence, and this is the most disjunctive point we have. Some of the rules of full stop is first one, whenever one thought is quite finished, a full stop follow. Remember that the next sentence begins with capital letter. For example, she has gone to university. This is a complete sentence. These are the group of words makes a complete sentence. So after a complete sentence, after a complete sense, we use full stop. And we can also use full stop with abbreviations. For example, BC for before Christ. Now we move to the question mark. Some of the rules of question mark are as under. The note of interrogation or question mark is used instead of full stop after sentences when asked questions. When there are asked any question, we use question mark. For example, who is that man? Why did you allow him to insult her? So these are the questions. So after questions, we use question marks. So the note of interrogation is required when a direct question is asked. For example, where are you going? But question mark is no use after an indirect question. When there is an indirect question, you have to not use question mark. You have to use full stop. It needs only full stop. For example, she asked me where I was going. This is an indirect question. This is not a direct question. So after indirect question, you have to use full stop, not question mark. The next is exclamation mark. A note of exclamation is required after words or sentences that express strong emotions. Pray. For example, strong emotions. Hurrah! We have won the match. After hurrah, you have to use the exclamation mark. A pray. God save the king. Long live the king. After the God save the king, you have to use exclamation mark. After long live the king, you have to use the exclamation mark. And the next is exclamatory words. For example, oh, me, I'm undone. Alas, the man is dead. So after exclamatory words, you have to use exclamation mark. For innovations as well. Further, I hear the sounds of guns. Hamlet, speak no more, Shakespeare. So after further and Hamlet, you have to use the exclamation mark is because these are the innovations. Then we move to the semicolon. The semicolon is a point in value between the colon and comma. It is used to introduce a greater break in the thoughts than a comma would give. Some of the rules we will discuss here. The first one is to separate longer clauses from one another. For example, God gave her peace, her land respond, Tennyson. For example, after her peace we use semicolons. Here, he was brave, long-hearted man, and we all honored him. After he was brave, after long-hearted man, we have to use the semicolons as well. The next one is to separate a series of loosely related clauses. For example, God gave her peace, her land respond, Tennyson. For example, God gave her peace. After God gave her peace, we have to use the semicolon. So when a sentence contains an enumeration of several particulars, the clauses are generally separated by semicolons. For example, we have 4 professors on this committee. Muhammad Salim, professor of English, Muhammad Iqbal, professor of Urdu, and Safar Shahid, professor of physics. So after each professor, we have to use the semicolon. So the next is we use semicolon in place of coordinating conjunctions. For example, Bilal likes me and I like Bilal. Bilal likes me, semicolon, I like Bilal. So Bilal likes me, I like Bilal. So we have to use semicolon instead of and. Bilal likes me. The next is we use semicolon for the clauses which have close relationships. For example, she eats meat, I eat vegetables. We have to use the semicolon. And we can also use semicolon between two independent clauses when the second clause begins with transitional words. For example, I like cats, however, I hate the way they smell. I am suffering from fever, therefore I cannot go out today. So I like it, we use semicolon, and after transitional words we have to use the comma. I am suffering from fever, we are using the semicolon, therefore I cannot go outside. So after transitional words we have to use the semicolon, and some of the transitional phrases in addition, in the meantime, more importantly, on the other hand, that is to say, to summarize, of course, in fact. Now we move to the colon. So the colon is a point in value halfway between the semicolon and a full stop. Some of the uses we will discuss here. The colon is placed before a list, statement, explanation. For example, here we study these subjects: creative writing, mass communication, trauma, and Islamic studies. So here we study these subjects. We use colon, and after each subject we have to use the comma. For example, Milton in Paradise Lost, better resign in hell than serve in heaven. So Milton in Paradise Lost. After Milton in Paradise Lost, we have to use the colon. The colon is not followed with a capital letter except when a quotation is provided. For example, she advised we should try our luck at more places than one. So there are so many uses of colon. The colon is used to indicate our proportions as well. For example, the proportion of the rich to the poor here is 6 after 6, 9 for 6. Then you have to use the colon here. The colon is used after the salutation in modern American English. For example, dear sir, after dear sir you have to use the colon. Ladies and gentlemen. Now we move to the last. The brackets or the parentheses. For example, the plural of parenthesis is parenthesis. Some of the rules of brackets are essential. The brackets are used to provide extra information or comment. They came of a noble family, and after a noble family, if you use any word and extra information, that will be in the bracket. For example, uranium, a metal, is found in Pakistan. After uranium, you are using a bracket. So this bracket shows the additional information. So we have discussed punctuations, full stop, question mark, exclamation, semicolon, colon, and the brackets. So thank you for watching the video. For more videos and updates, don't forget to click the subscribe button. Goodbye.